Welcome to another episode of Stangani with the Sound Sangoma. I am the Sound Sangoma. Today I'm going to be showing you how to actually use an EQ effectively. Let's get to it. So this is a session that I got. It's a beat that I got from King Jungle. Very simple beat. I'm just using it for demonstration. I asked for certain elements in the beat for a reason. So let me play you the beat. Cool, so you might be wondering why I'm actually putting all the faders at 0, because we're gonna start from really the scratch. So just making sure that you have your gain structure, because everything is dependent on your gain structure, even the way you use your EQ is dependent on your gain structure. So I'll be soloing, but remember I'm only soloing in this instance so that I can actually make you hear what I'm actually doing or how do I approach an EQ. But at the end of the day, sometimes you're going to go into solo to just make sure that your instrument is cleaned, but you have to always remember you have to mix in context. Right, so let me find the high energy place and make sure that our drum sub is okay and our main sub is cool. So that's our kick right there. Skin here. I always tell people whenever you're approaching a mix or you want to EQ something or you want to do anything to any instrument, you need to make sure that you kind of like listen to it and know what you want to do and actually choose the right tool for that. So if I listen to this kick, very rounded, not really that much problem with the kick that I want to fix, but I can shape it up a little bit. So I mean, for those who are using Pro Tools and you don't have any other plugins, you can use the same plugins. So I'll probably, if it was, just go there to the band and let it play. Cool, so maybe take that out a little bit, deal with that. Yeah, just giving it a little bit more. You gotta realize this is very important, bypassing and bypassing your signal, just making sure that you listen to what you're actually doing. Are you improving the signal? You know, are you making it worse? You know, probably a high pass filter there. There's a bass, but I'll probably go back there. Just wanted to have a little bit of thud. So if I go to my keys, for example, you know, there's a school of thought amongst engineers: cut more than you boost, rather take away than put it in. So this is my high pass filter, as you can hear. I can choose how much of the low frequencies I want. So I feel like somewhere there, probably play around with that. And then there's that honky sound. So sometimes I kind of like seeing my frequencies just to, you know, in my head, just to figure out which frequency I'm actually looking for. When you do this, when you sweep your frequencies, make sure that your level on your interface or on your output is is adjusted. It's very important, because if you're going to be boosting above 12 dB, you're going to be going to into your master by 12 dB. So you need to understand that you can blow your speakers, so you can blow your ears. So be careful when you're doing this. So I'll sweep the frequency, sweep the EQ, and just around there. That's the frequency. Smoothing it a little bit. Feel like that's the right place there for me. I'm gonna leave it there, and then I'm gonna grab another one just to see if so there's a ring somewhere there. See, the honkiness is out. So before I move on to the F6, just a little bit of a tip when it comes to EQ. shortcuts are very, very important. If you hold shift control and you go to a band, for example, to that band, you can actually solo the band and actually listen to that band alone. F6 will come standard with the solo function on each and every band. So if we play our keyboard, I can go and pick a band, and I can play around with the band. Each and every key is gonna have its own character depending on what you wanna get. As you can see, the F6 has more for me to play around. So that area there, I'm gonna control it a little bit. So depending on the tool you're using or which EQ you're using, it is gonna give you different functions and what you wanna do. But at the end of the day, you have to know what you want to do with an EQ. You have to know what you want to get from the EQ. Don't just go in there and try to figure things out. If you don't need to use it, don't use it. As for example, in my kick, the reason why I moved from my kick to this to show you EQ is because I felt like that kick doesn't really need that much EQ. There's not really much for me to do there. So rule of thumb is only use it when you need it. Make sure that you're actually listening. If you go to our blog, you'll find a link to the isotope training, whether you can train your ears to actually listen to different frequencies, which is important when you're doing EQ. So that's basically how you actually approach EQing. Very, very basic, very, very simple. Don't overthink it. Don't go in there and do a lot. If I always, my mentors and people who taught me or people who I watched, they always tell me that if you find yourself doing a lot of things in your EQ or using any of these tools or using it a lot, that means the capturing stage or the signal itself from the get-go wasn't right. So, we don't want to be out there fixing problem most of the times. You want to get something and just work on it. I hope I kind of like gave you an idea of how you can approach an EQ, a simple use of an EQ.